Hey guys, what's going on? It's Sport here, your favourite motorsport manager doing the F1 mod challenge. What are we up to? We're up to season number 2. Race number 10. There is something in the back of my throat. Oh, last race we got first and third. Did a great result, that's it. Oh, my eyes are all watering. That's nuts. But right now in front of me, right before your very own eyes, McLaren Honda. They are underperforming. They're coming 6th in their championship if we were to go to the F1 series. They're coming 6th. Ever since we left the team, we left them when they were coming 4th. And now they're like behind Force India and Williams. What happened? But not only are they coming 6th, they're coming 6th by like 60 something points. 62. But my point is, guys, we were punching above our weight when we were in that team. That just goes to show that. You know, I'm just saying, if we had another second season. But here's the thing, what would you do? We can now technically reapply for that job. Would you take that job back? Or would you stick it to them by getting race engineering into F1 and then going kablam, getting that world championship and beating those guys? That's what I'm going to do. Give me a thumbs up if that's what you do. If you'd sign up back with McLaren, give me a thumbs down. But if you would go like still race engineering, the team that gave you an opportunity to come back in as a manager and race, give me a thumbs up, because that's what we're doing. That's what we're sticking with. That's what we're sticking. You know, that's what we know. That's who we're sticking with. They're great guys. We're giving Rossi the much better car just to kind of balance the two out. But I'm looking forward to today's race. Here's a one-lap haymaker for Schumacher. He's down by 0.243 at the first split. How is Rossi going to be? He's down by 0.165 at the first split. So he's faster than Schumacher when it comes to those splits. He's now down by 0.6. And that's not going to be good enough. That's going to shuffle Schumacher all the way down into 6th position. That's his worst position to date. And Rossi gets 4th. So we've missed our bonus by like a 15th. Despite the fact that we're clear track, great setups, the best set of tyres to do it on, we haven't been able to get the job done. And not only haven't we been able to get the job done, we haven't been able to do it convincingly. Grosjean, Werlein and Kvyat are like almost half, well, they are half a second. All of them are Grosjean are half a second ahead. Schumacher was down by 1.1 seconds. So that means this race is going to be a little bit up in the air for us, because they've kept designing new parts. They've brought their car up to our level to some degree. And the other thing I want to point out, and I hadn't pointed out yet, I don't know why, Schumacher has the personality trait right now of burnt out. That is -1 in every single trait, which pushes him down to 3 stars in line with Alexander Rossi. So the weird thing here is, we don't really have a main driver for this race. They're both probably going to struggle a little bit in relation to how they usually go. As you can see, there's Schumacher. He's got 3 and a little bit of stars. Before, he was at almost about 4 stars. So that's a huge drop across him all around. Everything just drops. Race time, baby. Kvyat, Werlein, Manor Racing, 1-2. Grosjean, Haas, 3rd position. 4th place, Rossi. 5th, Gutierrez. Schumacher is 6th. It is the worst grid we've ever had. Worst qualifying we've ever had since we started this season. But you know what? I'm feeling confident. We're apparently going to have rain. I don't know when we're going to have rain. It might not even rain at all, but who knows? Off the line, how do they go? Rossi goes up into 3rd position because it looks like Grosjean gets a bit of a muggy start. Schumacher is already up into 4th, so that's a great start by the two guys. Schumacher is also fighting with Rossi. He goes past Rossi straight away. Remember, Schumacher's in the 2nd tier car. Their driver capacity at the moment is about the same, considering that they're both got 3 stars because of Schumacher's issue that he's got at the moment with his personal traits. We can actually look at the traits here. He's burnt out. He's burnt out, -1 overall. He's side by side with his teammate. We might have to give some team orders here, I think. I might just tell Rossi, where's the go? Where is it? Where is it? We might just tell Rossi, allow teammate through. We don't want to fight with the two. We've seen that before in an earlier season where the two of them crashed. Both cars had to come to the pits for a mechanic, for a front wing and rear wing, and one of them even got a stop-go penalty, so that was that. But once these tyres get into the optimum range, we're going to start to peel them away and get them to just go into push mode. Schumacher is on a bit of a bump and grind here. He's now up to Kvyat. He wants to get by him as soon as he possibly can. Those tyres are heating up pretty fast. Weather-wise, it looks like we're going to be sweet. We're going to have to go to the softer compound next set. Rossi seems to be on the attack. You know what? I'm going to let them race. I'm just going to let them race. Let's see what happens here. Let's just let these guys go. We've got this championship pretty much wrapped up. If the two of them were to take each other out, I'm confident that we'd be able to save it in the last round anyway. So let's just let these two guys race. I've let them, go back, and there's no more team orders. Thought I'd be a little bit smart, but we don't need it. So Rossi now fighting up against Grosjean. Grosjean just gets by him and just shuts the door on the outside of the corner. Yes, he does. And Rossi might even slip back into 6th position. Those tyres are now starting to get into the optimum range. So we're going to go back to neutral and just let them drive around. Nothing really happening so far in these first beginning laps. Except for Wehrlein absolutely getting ahead of everyone by how many seconds? 6 seconds. 67% tyre tread versus Schumacher's 64. So the tyre tread and the tyre wear at the moment is about the same. It's not too bad. Usually we find Wehrlein's got a much better capacity to... just let me move my mic so it's a bit more clearer. He's usually got a much better capacity to drive his car the longer distances. One thing I've done is I've put Schumacher on overtake mode because I don't want to double stack these guys. I want one of them to come in 1 lap early. If it has to be Schumacher, make it so. It looks like Grosjean's indicating that he needs to come into the pits now. Remember, his tyre wear is absolutely atrocious. Every time he starts to get out ahead of everyone, he has to pit relatively early. In fact, his teammate Gutierrez is struggling as well. He's on 52% compared to everyone else. He's actually saved those tyres quite well. But he was behind another car that just went in the pits. So right now it's Rossi and also Schumacher, who seem to just be fighting with themselves and just breaking a little bit of a gap. Schumacher's laps, or the engine mode, is starting to get to the point where he might have to pit soon. We just want to get at least 1 more lap out of those tyres for both cars. So we're going to have to go back into normal mode now for Schumacher. In fact, we might have to pull him in now because his tyre wear is going to go through the roof. So let's pull him now for this stop. We don't want to get caught up behind Kvyat. We might be able to leapfrog him in the pits. We will get Rossi to do 1 more lap around. Getting close enough that we're going to have to pit. Let's go for the super soft compound strategy. Is there any rain coming? Yeah, rain is coming. Rain is definitely coming. It's not going to come for another 12 laps or so, so we want to go to those other tyres. That should be enough. That's perfect. So we've got them in the right window. Let's do 12.5 just in case. In fact, let's go 13.5 just in case. It's better to have more fuel than not fuel, and that way we can play with it. We don't know what's going to happen with this weather. We will get Rossi to do 1 more lap with these tyres. He's going to have to push when he comes around. And let's get him to go on the pits now. Let's indicate what our actions are. Super soft tyres, park condition, and nothing to fix there. Fast pit stop instead. Hopefully he can make some ground. Let's go up to 13 tyres exactly. And he should be sweet. While that's happening, how's Schumacher's stop going? His pit stops have been pretty ordinary lately. A lot of mistakes. And that's generally due to the chief mechanic's, oh no, we've put him on tyres that have already been used, that we used up. That was a bad... Well, I completely forgot. We've actually been practicing. We practiced on softer tyres, and we used up a lot more trim. So he's got 80% tyre tread on those tyres. That might not be able to get to the distance. We will see. That's going to be something to keep an eye out for. Medium, push mode. Rossi, has he lost anything to Gutierrez? Gutierrez is catching. At least Rossi's going to get that 1 more lap. We might have to work something out here with Schumacher. He seems to be fighting with Grosjean at the moment. Because he's going to be lackluster on those tyres, I'm actually going to get Schumacher to try and use up some more fuel and get past him. But this is actually a really scary zone to be in. I was confident Schumacher was going to be able to go the distance, but unfortunately I've kind of stuffed up his tyres to some degree. And that might absolutely throw his race under the bus. He's coming third. Grosjean's been able to... Ooh, there was a bit of a tap there. Grosjean's been able to leapfrog Kvyat. Kvyat immediately takes the position back. Kvyat opting for the ultra soft tyres. That's actually a big surprise. How's Rossi coming out of the pits? That's good. He's come out into 7th position. He's behind Lin. I'm surprised. So Lin's been able to leapfrog quite a few people by stopping earlier, I think, in the race. And I wasn't watching Rossi's pit stop to know if he'd stuffed up. But I've stuffed up Schumacher's stop by getting him on tyres that have already been used by 20%. We'll make it work. Don't worry about that. We always seem to make it work. We might get him to push now because that's the way that we're going to have to get this to work. And by lap 17, we'll have to pit for intermediates pretty much straight away. Will he be able to go the race distance though? I think he should be able to. He's all over the back of Grosjean. It's been yeah, that's hectic. To lose to Grosjean is a bit of a big blunder for us. Alright, we're at a bit of a juncture here. We're at the point where they're going to have to stop. If I get Schumacher to do 2 to 3 more laps on these baggedy tyres, He's absolutely going to struggle. They're on 30%. There's at least... What lap is it? Lap 17, 18 is when the track starts to get wet. Oh my god, we're going to have to pit him. That's going to stuff him up so much. Where is he in relation to everyone else, though? We're doing approximately the similar time as the guys ahead of us. We might have to forfeit Schumacher's position. If he stays out on those tyres... What's the tyre tread like? What is he using up? He's used up... Where is he? There he is. Change for 6. We've done 6 laps. And he's used up 50%. Yeah, 50% in 6 laps. So in 3 laps, he'll use another 25%. No, I've got to pit him. And I'm better off pitting him now. If I wait one more lap, it's absolutely going to screw him up. So we're going to go to the ultra soft tyres. We've pretty much screwed him over to a degree here. Let's just take our medicine now and get on with it. A bit of a pit screw up. It's like Daniil Ricciardo when he went to Monaco and that blew up his race that he had pretty much won when the pit crew wasn't ready, except that was a bit of a mismanagement by me. That's alright. He'll be able to pit. We'll get him into overtake mode as soon as he leaves the pits. And actually, you know what? He's actually come out ahead of Rossi, so he hasn't dropped the position at all. And now he's going to be absolutely screeching those tyres. I'll be interested to see what his lap times are going to be, given the fact that we've only got a couple laps. I did put a little bit of fuel in there simply because when we pit next time, it will add an additional second for every lap or leader that we put in. Lap or leader, there we go. So he's come out ahead of Kvyat. So we've actually made some great ground here. Where is Grosjean in relation to us? Grosjean's tyres are starting to really peel off now. Surely he's not going to be able to last another lap in those conditions. We're catching quite aggressively. So this is working to some degree. It's not too bad. It hasn't, you know, it's affected us by the fact that Werlein's gotten so far ahead of us. But we are catching Grosjean really... Wow. We're taking out chunks of 0.3 with every update that little board's coming up with. It's now down to 1.5 seconds. It's not raining just yet. He's coming into the pits. What's he going to do? Is he going to come in for intermediates and do one lap on really baggedy tyres? As for Rossi, he's got enough fuel to keep going around. We might just put him into medium mode. We can start doing the same with Schumacher. There's Grosjean. He goes in the pits. Grosjean is probably going to have to come in for intermediate tyres. I imagine... No, he comes out on soft tyres. That's going to absolutely screw him over any second. So there goes his race. He might not have the same forecasting facilities we do. The same weather... barometers or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I don't know. That's a big call by him. So now we're actually chasing first position. We're 2 seconds a lap faster. We are almost 3 seconds a lap faster. Are we going to pit now? The answer is no. Where's Werlein? He's only that far ahead, and he's been doing laps on those rigidy tyres. As for our boy Rossi, he should be able to do at least one more lap. It's going to start to rain right about now. Any second. Those tyres lasted that amount of laps anyway. Look at they're at 39% and we're using them up like anything. Rossi's tyres are going to last. What's the gap back to Rossi? We want to push him away as far as we possibly can because we don't want to double stack. That will mean Rossi will have to lose out dramatically. But Schumacher's making some good inroad. He's got the gap. He should have it down to about 10 seconds. And the rain's going to absolutely pour this next lap. If we could stick it out one more lap, I probably could. No, I can't now because his fuel's too low. The tire tread's a bit down, and it should start raining any second now. What is going on out there? Is he going to keep going around? That's nuts. Look at that. The rain happens straight away. There you go. Bang. Right on cue. Here we go. Schumacher's going to come in the pits. Intermediate tires. That's the weather condition. Look at it. It's going to be like that for the rest of the race. Fast pit stop fuel all the way to the end. So 12.3, and it's going to last enough just to get us to the end. Same with Rossi. We're going to pit for him. He's got low fuel. Get him into low mode. And pit for him as well. Intermediate tyres, fuel option. 12 laps. I'm hoping he'll make it to the end without running out of fuel because that's going to suck up his time. 0.01. Look at that. He gets in just in the nick of time. In comes Schumacher. I didn't even check how long these tyres last. They should be able to last for the rest of the race. There we go. It's a good stop. Goes out. No, he's going to hold up Rossi only slightly. So he was able to build a gap where he wasn't holding him up too much. How's Wehrlein? What's his last lap like? Surely he's going to be struggling now, given the conditions that he was in. Rossi's now come out. He did an alright pit stop as well. Grosjean's has elected to do an additional lap on those tyres. Let's see if he's gaining or losing out to us. Are we losing or gaining time from the guys around us? It's not damp enough for those tyres to come into action just yet. But it should any second now. The next lap, if they wanted to do another lap, they're going to absolutely struggle. See, he was able to get 0.067. So, what is our lap time like? We would be down because of our pit stop regardless. But, how is the gap to Wehrlein? And where is Kvyat? Kvyat's going to drop back into third. Mick Schumacher goes, no! Kvyat leapfrogs us. That's because he was able to do one more lap around and make up that little bit of a gap. But I'm not too worried. I reckon we're going to be able to overtake him. I just want to have a look. How long these tyres are? 13 laps. Yeah, fine. This should be perfect for us to do what we need to do. Let's go into attack mode because that's where they need to be. They need to be in that optimum tyre temp. Fast forward mode. Schumacher on the podium at the moment, chasing down a renegade Kvyat. Wehrlein only 15 seconds up the road at the moment. And they all seem to be in conservative mode with their engine. I'm guessing that they don't want to crash. That's a big worry when it starts to rain, the likelihood of a car crashing. This is huge, guys. Wehrlein is actually going to retire from the lead of the race. His car is blown up on the spot, and look at him. He's just going to be trailing around with a puff of smoke behind him as the back markers unlap themselves. That's Bernstroff and Ghietto, or Ghost. I don't know what his name is. But we are now in contention for the lead of this race. Where did Kvyat go? Kvyat is only... Wow, Kvyat is only a little bit ahead of us. His tyre tread is at 52%. Ours is at 49%. Remember, he pitted one lap after us. So that's given him a little bit more tyre tread to play with. We don't necessarily have that. We do have excess fuel that I'm burning off by going into high mode for the rest of this race. I could go into overtake mode just to pull it up a little bit higher. But I'm just monitoring the tyre usage at the moment. I just want to make sure we've got enough for the end because... we could trip up Kvyat potentially at the end of this race and then leapfrog him just at the end. He seems to be playing a little bit more with his tyre temps and his fluctuations. In fact, he's now down to 45%. We're at 44%. Our tyre tread seems to be much better. I've put Schumacher into the attack. He's got not enough fuel to get to the end now. He's actually closing the gap, I believe. No, the gap is still 2 seconds. Rossi is so far behind that it's not going to make a difference, but it would be amazing to pick up an easy win here. And with Wehrlein coming out of that race, that pretty much ties us up to win this championship. Unless something drastically happens at the end of this race that, you know, we couldn't quite see. But look at this tyre tread at the moment. This is just a war of attrition. Kvyat now on 37%, only 2% ahead of Schumacher. Now he's on 35, we're on 33. Seems to be one of those games. We're in almost the same tyre tread. He seems to be able to get more out of the tyre than Kvyat, so that's going to be good. This end race is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm just going to go back into neutral mode. He's gone back into conserve mode. I don't want to conserve the tyres too much because the tyre temperatures are so low that they're going to start graining over each other. He's been able to pull back an extra percentage out of them by kicking it back into that conserve mode. We're not too worried about that just yet. Just keep monitoring his fuel. He's got plenty of fuel to go. We're going to have 2 more laps after this, so I'm just going to put him into overtake mode just for a little bit. Now the tyre treads are going to start to bleed a little bit, and that's when Kvyat might be able to push a bit of a gap. It's now up to 3 seconds, and he's actually into push mode. I don't know if that's because we're putting a little bit of pressure. He seems to be fluctuating between pushing and then not pushing. So we're going to have to go back to medium mode. We've used up as much fuel as we possibly can to get to the end of the race. It's a bit of a showdown now. I don't think we'll have what it takes to get to Kvyat. Had we have pitted 1 lap after, which wouldn't have been possible given our fuel load at that time, it might have worked for us. The rain is just restarting again. You can see it back on our screen. But I'm pretty content with the fact that we got a second and a third. We've got a Schumacher who basically is burnt out. He's using the second tier car. He's able to get that position. Where is Rossi in relation to us? He's so far ahead of him, it's not even going to matter. We're going to pick up second and third. Absolutely no dramas here. Good ending to the race. A little bit anticlimactic. Wehrlein jumps down into that 18th slot. Still got, he would have definitely have picked up the race win. He's still circling around the track despite the fact that he's retired, but so be it. You know, he might just want to be taking in the atmosphere of the Canadian fans at Montreal. That's a good finish. A second and a third for race engineering, GP2 style. No rules broken. Thank you very much. Retired Pascal Wehrlein. He does get the fastest lap of the race. And Daniil Kvyat actually picks up the bonus points for pole position as well. So we don't win the round because that's going to go to Manor. And effectively, if you come first and you get either the fastest lap or pole position, you win it for your team. Because even if you come second or third, you can't touch him unless you pose a threat by getting the pole position and fastest lap. So there you go. We're going to come second. That means the manager, the chairman I should say, is not going to be particularly happy, despite the fact that a second and a third is actually a really good position. I don't know. Hard to please everyone. I try to be a bit of a crowd pleaser, but that's not going to happen here. We came second. It's going to decline. Look how many... Oh, look at all those trait points for Schumacher go up. That's really good. In those 16 weeks, he's going to be really happy. It only goes down by 2%. That's almost nothing. But Rossi almost filling up his full potential by the looks of it. That's getting quite good. Alex Gray's relationship, the mechanic's relationship with Schumacher is going to be full very shortly. We get 1.9 mil. Unfortunately missing our qualifying bonus just. That is really unfortunate. How are we looking in the championship? 29 points ahead. So we have effectively won. We could have 2 DNFs and still win the last race. Rossi, however, could jump up to second position, given the fact that Wehrlein had just had a bad race and Grosjean's ahead. Rossi would have to win and leapfrog everyone, but Schumacher's won the championship for the Drivers' Championship. We've won the Team Championship. I'm pretty keen to do a back-to-back video right now and just record that. But thanks for tuning into this video. Be sure to click to the next video. It's going to be right here on your screen somewhere over there. It's been great doing this video. We're going to be jumping into Formula 1 very shortly. Be sure to subscribe, guys. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, and let me know what you think down below. I love your comments. I love the feedback. I love including you guys in my series, and I'll check you guys out really shortly. Shh.